Alrighty. Test. Ouch. Testing, testing. Looks like my microphone is working tonight. Hello and welcome. Advent of Code, day 2. Not sure how long this one is going to be. I took a look at the problem earlier today, and at least part 1 looked like it was going to be pretty short, but, we'll see. Things happen. Let me spend a few minutes laying stuff out. Still going to say hi to all of you. Looks like we've got a couple of viewers tonight. Say hi in the chat if you like. My name is Savani. I'm a professional programmer with a couple of decades of experience. I started this stream partly as a way of just showing you how much professionals with a lot of experience can still struggle with things that seem like they might be pretty basic. Oh, hello there. Theld of... Oh, I gotta zoom this in. I can't see. Theld of Allen, hello. Anyway, some of you may have seen last night. If you haven't, Advent of Code is a yearly challenge of solving little toy problems. They always have a theme around Christmas. This year, it seems that the North Pole's chief historian has disappeared and is apparently needed every year for the annual sleigh launch. Yesterday, what was yesterday? It was like finding out that... Oh, basically just finding some notes that the chief historian left behind that might lead to wherever they are this year. So, on day 2, first location of that the historians want to search isn't very far away from the chief historian's office. Apparently, for some reason, the North Pole has a nuclear fusion and fission plant for, I guess, doing nucleosynthesis for various medicines for Rudolph. I followed this earlier. It's a very strange idea. But the engineers have a problem that they just want me to analyze some unusual data from the reactor. So the puzzle here, we have a whole bunch of reports. Each line here represents one report. Each report has a number of levels. It does not specify how many levels. So even though I only see 5 in each of these reports, I'm going to assume that it could be an arbitrary number. And I need to analyze each one to make sure that it represents a safe condition for the reactor. So the rules here, a level is safe if all of the levels are either increasing or they're all decreasing. So within a certain row has to be monotonically increasing or monotonically decreasing. And two adjacent levels must differ by at least 1 and at most 3. Hence why I said monotonically. It can't stay the same. So we've got some rows here that are unsafe because the change is too great, and we've got one row here that is unsafe because it goes up and then it goes down, which is not safe. So we're going to jump right on into this. That's the wrong repository. Advent of Code 2024. There we go. And I'm going to quickly open day 1 just to do some quick copy and paste. Well, that didn't work right. There we go. I don't know that I'm going to need the hash map, but I will want the input. As always, we're going to get input from day 2. Day 2A. And day 2B. Start the test suite for this. Yep. And now I'm going to get it imported into main. And then a quick check just to make sure that everything is working. Oh, yeah, of course it's not going to work. I have literal syntax errors in here. And let's import the data as well. Okay, puzzle input. Yes, as I guessed, some of these reports can be longer. So let's just copy all of that, paste it. I don't think that's really going to be a problem, though. Just all of the reports are well within the range of anything that I can solve. Cool. Looks like everything is compiling, so let's start running stuff. Just start the test suite. Yeah, no, not everything is compiling. It's because I still have kind of obvious syntax errors. There we go. Cool. Alrighty. Let's grab the test data here. Copy it in. And what do I want to test? I want to test... I'm not going to bother this time testing that I can parse the data correctly. This is just a little... It's a little too easy. Testing that I can parse the data would just kind of be redundant. So really, I'm going to calculate that... Okay, here we go. So first test. Monotonic decreasing is safe. Actually, we're just going to say monotonic changes are safe. And then excessive changes are unsafe. And then the last one, non-monotonic changes are unsafe. I'm going to make sure all three of these, well, I'm going to make sure that these two fail. Can I get a better layout? Yes, if I choose the right screen. There we go. Unimplemented. Okay, cool. Tests are failing, so that guarantees that they are actually being run. So the first thing I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to write the parser, which should be pretty easy. So it's just going to be parse levels, something like this. Let's see here. Input data, I'll just say S. Just going to be a string input, and what I want to get out is a vec of U32. 1, 2, yeah, good. My editor doesn't tell me, or my editor can do like open and close matching on angle brackets, or on curly braces and on parentheses, but not on angle brackets, which is a little challenging in a language like Rust that uses angle brackets for a lot of generics. Okay, so s dot lines, we just grab the lines, and so that this function just splits things up by splits up all of the lines into separate strings, and then for each one we're going to split that. And like yesterday, just for safety, yeah, I'm going to filter it. Filter element, element dot, we'll say not element dot is empty. Okay. with that filter done, let's collect... no, with the filter done, I first want to parse everything into a string. So element parse. I don't want to parse it into a string. That was a silly thing to say. I want to parse it into a U32. And of course that does not work. I can never do this the first time. Oh, yeah. Start collecting values. And then okay, so if you're watching along, what this is saying, the innermost function here assumes that you have just one of these lines, splitting the line along the blank spaces, then filtering out any element that is empty, which would happen if there's more than one blank space between two of these elements. Saw that in yesterday's problem set. For anything, or for all of the remaining elements, convert them to a U32. As always, I'm just going to unwrap the result. I'm not going to check for errors because Advent of Code, they generally don't put bad data into the data sets. Once I've parsed them into U32s, collect that one row into a vector of U32s. And once I've gotten all of the rows, collect that into a vector of vectors of U32s. Pretty straightforward so far. So now I want to do a check on a single row. So fn is safe. In fact, we'll call it a level, just as the problem does. This is just going to return a Boolean. The conditions for it being safe is we'll say is tonically increasing. Actually, this is going to be really simple to think through. I'll leave it unimplemented for a moment, but I think all I'm going to do is check the diffs between each one of the numbers and make sure that they all have the same sign and they're all within the desired range. So let's start here. I just realized I've got music in the background. I just realized that it's sitting on an infinite loop on the first track. So instead, I'll switch over to a track that's like an hour long. That'll be better. Want to parse data? Parse levels. There we go. Cool. And I'm going to check the first level. So there we go. So we assert that the first report is safe, and we will assert that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth report is safe. That should be fine. And then similar tests down here. So for the non-monotonic changes, that is only the 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, report number 3. And then for excessive changes, we'll do that test right here. So assert not is safe 1 and 2 and 4. Oof. Is that right? No, gotta borrow them. Okay, cool. All of the tests are failing. That's a good sign at the moment. Although oh yeah. So if I were to just say false here, I'd get some of the tests just succeeding because, yeah. So all of these things that are testing that things are unsafe, well, yeah, it's unsafe. The problem is everything is unsafe. So for a given level, I want to run down the list. And I want to grab a pair, and then I want to drop the first one, grab the next one, and keep on doing that. I want to find the difference between those two. I don't really want to duplicate the list, but I can. Because I could do... Huh. I feel like there should be a pairwise iterator. We don't need to get that fancy. For I equals... That's not the right language at all. For idx in, we'll say 1 dot dot level dot len minus 1, I think is correct. And what I want to do is say, so let the diff equals level idx minus 1 minus level idx. I'm going to say let direction equals none at the moment. I just want an up-down thing here. Okay, so we let the diff equal that. If diff is greater than, let's see, if diff is 0 or diff is greater than 3, we're just going to return false. Bail early. For the fun of it, I'm going to return true here, even though it's going to be wrong. Or it should be wrong. Ooh, attempted to subtract with overflow. Oh, right. Anytime you start getting subtraction involved, it's just worthwhile to go with I32, even though the numbers can't be negative. But with subtraction, there's always the chance that the numbers are negative. One of these passed. I don't know which one. Excessive changes are unsafe, failed. And non-monotonic changes are unsafe, also failed. So that would mean that the monotonic changes are safe, did pass. I don't know, though, why the excessive changes failed, because technically this should do it. So I want to print out all of the results. Let's see here. Comparing. And what is the diff here? What have we got? Okay, so if I compare 1 and 3, then the value is -2. So already I'm failing because I'm neglecting to deal with negatives correctly. That makes sense. So let's take the absolute value of it. Okay. So this should be safe. 3 and 2. What is it doing? So we should get 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, and it looks like we're just putting out this one. 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. So 1 and 3. Then 3 and 2. So this one should fail because the direction. Okay. I'm going to calculate the direction first. So if match direction, if it's sum up, we haven't implemented it yet. Same with down. But if it's none, then let's just not even do it here. Let's put it before we start the list. So I'm just going to determine the direction that we're supposed to go here. If it's none, then if level bracket 0 is greater than level bracket 1, then direction should equal some it's going down. It's never read. Maybe it is overwritten before being read. Well, that's a warning, so it's not a problem. If level bracket 0 is less than level bracket 1, then the direction is going up. If they're the same, then we didn't change by as much as we were supposed to, so we're just going to immediately return false. And I'm going to print it out. First two numbers showed no change. So just start out with that. Okay. Non-monotonic changes are unsafe. So this is test number, this is the third test here where it's looking at line 3. Okay. So that means I want to get the diff. I don't want the absolute value of it, at least not right now. So match okay. If the direction is increasing and the diff is greater than or equal to 0, meaning, so we took the first element, we subtracted the second element, the difference must be negative, or this can't be, or this we have to fail immediately. If it's decreasing, okay, cool. Thanks for coming, Theld. If it's decreasing, then the diff has to be positive. And if there is no change, we shouldn't have even gotten here. In fact, this case also shouldn't. In fact, this was just nonsense code up here. All of this was nonsense. This isn't even optional. So let direction equals the result of all of this logic right here. That is so much better. Down is interpreted as a unit variant, not a new binding. This may well be... that's kind of weird. Expression has an empty type. Oh, because I wasn't actually returning a value there. Much better. Cool. Oh, right. So I just handled the non-monotonic case. So now I just have to check that the values are within the proper range. So I've already ruled out 0. If the difference is 0, then we're already going to have returned false. So if diff.abs is greater than 3, then we're going to return false. And I think that this should succeed. It does. Great. Okay. So, given all of this, there are 2 reports that are safe. I'm not even going to write an auto test for that. I want to know how many reports are safe. So based on all of the real data input, let reports equals parse levels input. I am going to, I think I'll filter map. So reports.intoIter dot filter map. So for one report, already did the parse levels. Is this report safe? What does filter map expect? Oh, that's not right. We'll just go with a regular map. So this will return either a true or false for each report. Then we filter out wait. Filter. This is the condition in which we keep it. So we're going to keep that. And then we're going to count the results. And then I'm just going to convert that to a string. And it did not like this. Filter, okay. Let's run it. 2A. So it looks like 305 of the 1,000 reports are safe. So let's see if I'm right. No, it's too high. Okay. First failure there. Going to take that entire line of code and verify that it works on the test data. There should be two safe ones. Cannot compare a string with an integer. That's fine. Okay, still passing. So that, what could be causing this? It's possible that I'm not handling the zero, failure to change value correctly, even though I thought I was. So I think what I'll do is print everything and just see if I run across something odd. Yeah, no, that's not the right way to do it. Oops. Need to pass the report and the safety level across. It has already been half an hour. So much for what I said about this one being easy. Okay. What I think I'm looking for is a case. Oh. Oh, I have an edge condition here. This is not safe. It looks like I'm not properly checking the last two values, which probably means because of that, because of me subtracting one from the end length. Got some fence post problems here. Still works. And now I get 282. And I no longer see that first very obvious incorrect case. So I'm going to plug in 282. There we go. So, yeah, check your fence posts. All these years, still getting that. So, part 2. surprised by the low number of safe reports until they realize they forgot to tell you about the problem dampener. Is that actually a safety feature? It's a reactor-mounted module that lets the reactor safety systems tolerate a single bad level. I feel like that's just a way to have a nuclear accident. Huh. Okay, well, so the same rules apply as before, except if removing a single level from any unsafe report would make it safe, the report now counts as safe. Okay, that's probably quite a lot harder. Okay, let me grab my test cases here. I'm going to go ahead and write is safe too. And it's just always going to say false for the moment. So my conditions here, it is safe. I'm probably not going to bother testing this first case. Oh, I should, yeah. So a purely safe report is safe. There we go. A report with one bad level is safe. Wrong test here. I'm doing the second is safe function. Okay, so this one is not safe, this one is not safe, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4 are safe. Um, 0 and 5 are always safe, and then reports with too many bad levels are unsafe. So reports 1 and 2 are always unsafe. That wasn't right. Next test. Okay, so a purely safe report is safe. Of course, that's failing because every report is going to be unsafe. So I'm going to start out by just saying if is safe level. Really, this isn't level, this is report. Then we're just going to return true. Like, we know that some of these are always safe. Cool. Reports with too many bad levels are unsafe. Of course, that's going to be the default if it's not safe. So now the hard one. I have to figure out how I'm going to calculate this. So this one doesn't work because it goes up and then goes down. So that's one faulty scenario. Like, I'm wondering if I can just count the number of failures. I'm not sure that we can. Maybe we can. So this one is unsafe because of this big jump there. 97621. And if you remove that, okay, yeah, just counting isn't going to do it. It's almost like I have to go through and try removing each one of the levels to see if that makes it safe. I hate doing that, but that certainly seems to be the solution here. Okay, so if we get to here, then we're going to say, want to remove the 0th element, then we want to remove the first one, then we want to move the second one and try that. So for idx in 0 dot dot report.len, I want to dot splice. I'm just going to say splice for a moment. If this is safe. Okay. Now, what does splice do? Does it do what I think? Creates a splicing iterator that replaces the specified range in the vector with the given replace with iterator and yields the removed items. So I am going to be modifying my list. So let report underscore equals report.clone. The range is going to be I don't know exactly how this works. Maybe the Rust playground will be good for this. Huh. I have no idea what any of this is. Okay, fn main, let report equals, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I want to report.splice 3 with nothing, and then print the report. That probably needs to be an iterator. Let's run it and see what we get. I expect syntax errors. Hello? Okay, I don't know why that is failing. So instead, I'm just going to use my local code. 2b. Haven't done that yet. And I know that I have a bad line of code right here. Just comment all of this out. Now, 2b. That's fine. expected a string. That's handled. Remove the extra argument. I called the wrong function. Splice. No method named splice found for the array. Am I just missing an import? Well, what I could do, let rp2 equals report. I don't know how to do that. Rust splice vec. How do I get a slice of a vector? Oh. So what I can do, print line report 1.3, and it should print 2, 3. I think just 2 and 3. Let's find out. Yes, okay, so it printed just 2 and 3, which are the value or the values within this range. How would I concatenate two arrays? Concat two arrays. Yeah, plus doesn't work. Okay. So if you've got left, we've got right. What in the world? This is kind of horrifying. Okay. Concat on a vector. If you have a vector which contains two vectors and you concatenate them, that's what you get. Okay, let's try this again. Report 4.5, and if this does what I think we should get, 2, 3, 4, 5, or no, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. As is so often the case, the compiler is correct. So for 0 to report.len, oh, that's going to explode the moment it goes too far. This is weirdly difficult. It should actually be very easy to just drop one arbitrary value. Maybe I can do it by deleting or remove. Okay, so remove by index. Okay, this is what we'll do. So we do the report is safe, remove by index, 0, yeah. Arguments to the function are incorrect. Oh, right. Okay, that passes. Variable does not need to be mutable. That makes sense. Line 23. Okay. So this is going to be exactly day 1. I can remove this code. It's going to be day 1, but using a different function. Or day 2a using a different function. So let's run 2b again. 349. What do you think? And that's correct. Okay, so the difficulty of part 2 was first me wanting to find a clever solution, and then second, me just completely spacing on the remove function. Make no mistake, there's nothing efficient about this. There's a lot of array copying, but such is life. This is advent of code. It doesn't need to be fast. So yeah, there we go. Day 2 is now finished. That's the about page. I'll go back to the nice, I have no idea what the picture is yet. Might be presents. Day 2 is finished. Day 3 becomes available in about 2 hours. I won't resolve it until 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So we're going to call it done there. Thanks for watching. And I hope you come back tomorrow night. Have a good one.